What a difference a rally makes. The 3 days on the Alsatian stages turned the 2011 championship on its head. And Access All Areas is your guide to it all. Coming up in the show, while some endured a nightmare in France, others saw their title hopes reignited.
It's definitely going to be a big fight now in the last two rallies.
If you look at the point, it's very close between three drivers, so I think everything is possible.
And a new challenger emerged.
To be leading Citroën home was really nice.
Steering, a simple but crucial part of a WRC car, we go under the skin and find out how it works.
There's a huge amount of resistance in the tyre itself. So when the driver turns the wheel, if they tried to turn the wheel with no power assisted steering, it would be very, very heavy.
And of course, we'll bring you a stage-side seat of all the action from Alsace. Rallye de France Alsace is based just under 400 kilometres from Paris, around the city of Strasbourg, the region's capital. Close to the border with Germany, this year's event sees 23 stages and 350 competitive kilometres. Alsace is France's easternmost province and is famous for its vineyards and the stunning Vosges mountains. Strasbourg means City of Roads and owes its wealth to its strategic position on the west bank of the Rhine. Its medieval city is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Strasbourg also has a more modern side and is home to the European Parliament, as well as the Zenith Arena, where the service park is based. And this man knows more than most about this region. Championship leader Sébastien Loeb was born here. He won his 7th championship here last year in front of 250,000 fans. Expect a similar number this weekend to welcome home their hero. Running behind Loeb on the road is Mikko Hirvonen. His Rally Australia win leapfrogged him back into second, reigniting his championship hopes. In Australia, Citroën made it clear that Sébastien Ogier is to play the number 2 role to the world champion for the remainder of the year. So it will be interesting to see if Ogier remains tamed. After an internet campaign by the team's fans, both Fords are running with a mean-looking black livery. And with Latvia's increased pace on tarmac, he could be Citroën's biggest threat. Peter Solberg took 3rd on this event last year and is rejuvenated after his podium finish in Australia. After missing the WRC's trip down under, Mads Osberg returns 1 position in front of teammate Matthew Wilson. Former F1 champion Kimi Räikkönen also returns ahead of Henning Solberg. And rounding out our top 10 is the first of the minis. Danny Sordo took a podium 3rd last time out on tarmac and will be looking to better that here. And this is what they face. A fast, tricky event with a bumpy tarmac surface. Wide in places, this encourages drivers to cut across the corners to get the best racing line possible, mixed with vineyards and tight, twisty village streets. Rallye de France is a tarmac treat. Before all the action started, thousands of fans would get a chance to meet their local hero, Sébastien Loeb, and the other drivers at an autograph session in the town of Ilkirch. Then it was on to Strasbourg city centre, where even more fans crowded in to see Loeb lead the field across the start ramp. Early morning, and already the fans are out in force to greet their hero.
These fans, it's amazing.
It's everywhere, so we have to stay concentrated.
After pleasing the fans, it's now down to the real work. Sebastian Loeb attacks the roads he grew up on. Mikko Hirvonen is not known for his tarmac pace, but in Australia he was thrown a championship lifeline. He must stay in touch with the world champion. Oh, he was lucky there. Not a flinch from the pair. Let's hope he didn't pick up any serious damage. Loeb is already over 10 seconds faster than the Finn.
Sur droite, 120 mètres pas corde, ouvre et ferme 130 plus long pas corde sur frein pour 60 mètres gauche 120 moins long.
But something's up here. He's talking about the oil pressure falling there.
Radio, alarme P8 parce qu'on fait.
And the world champion is slowing. For the second event in a row, Sebastian Loeb is having problems. This is another lifeline for Hirvonen. He needs to push and capitalise on Loeb's misfortune. And yes, the belts are off for Loeb. That gesture says it all. And his disbelief is understandable. A mechanical failure for a Citroën is a rare, rare sight. The question is, can Hirvonen make it count? He will have passed Loeb on the stage. Well, I don't think he has. Mikko clearly not happy at all.
We went off once.
For all the rallies, now it was not time to make a mistake. Just went off like a few kilometers from the start and didn't get a puncture or anything, but there was so much smudge in the wheel or somewhere. The whole car is vibrating so much that I can't see outside. And the whole car is jumping. It was very difficult to drive. Really stupid, really, really stupid.
And that could have been a championship deciding moment. Hirvonen's teammate is out of the running for this year's title, but his speed on tarmac has improved vastly this year. Whoa, he's carried way too much speed into that corner. And Jari is stuck. This is turning into a disastrous morning for the Fords. Thanks to the fans, he does get on his way again, but Jari Matti has lost well over a minute there. Loeb out and Hirvonen slipping back. Sebastian Ogier now has to make this count. He threw away a similar chance in Australia and now needs to keep his head and bring this car home. With the Fords and Loeb having problems and on the pace, Petter Solberg has also joined the battle for the lead.
A little 40, 6 right plus long
And so has Danny Sordo. The Mini showed some impressive speed in Germany, with Danny finishing third, and he's doing the same here. The top three then are split by just 6.6 seconds, with Sordo's teammate Chris Meek in fourth. Hirvonen is back in sixth, meaning the remaining championship rivals are split by a minute. Loeb, meanwhile, is still stuck stateside.
We broke the engine. We had an alarm, oil pressure,
low, and so we called on the radio, what can we do? And at this time I cut the boost, and I felt the engine has no power and started to make some noise, so I stopped.
It's another devastating setback for Loeb. As the world champion flies back to service, he faces an anxious wait to find out if that DS3 is repairable. Join us in a few minutes to find out if his worst fears are realised. Welcome back to the Rallye de France Alsace, where there are unusual scenes in the Citroën service area. The world champion and his car have returned, and Citroën have 3 hours to see if they can fix the problem and give Loeb the opportunity to super rally and score vital points.
We have 3 hours, so we really want to go to the detail of it, and as soon as they really know what's happening, they will go to make a decision with the engine engineer.
It's interesting because you've got, what, 6, 7, 8 people working on the car there. Some people watching at home might say, well, with all of that expertise, surely you could pinpoint the problem, but there's clearly more to it than meets the eye.
Yes, because it's a race engine, so it's not an engine from a normal car. There is lots of parameters that we have to check to see what really happened in the stage, and as soon as it's done, then the expertise will be done and the engine engineer will take a decision.
There are some very frustrated faces looking at that car, and it's no surprise. With 6 manufacturers' titles and 77 wins to their name, actually retiring with mechanical issues is rare for Citroën. 2010 saw no retirements. We'll have to rewind the clock back to Greece 2009 for the last time Loeb retired, and that was most definitely driver error. The last time Loeb retired mechanically is all the way back in 2008. That was Sweden when he broke the clutch, but only after he'd driven into a snowbank. To find the last mechanical retirement for a Citroën, you'd have to rewind 59 rallies and over 41,000 competitive kilometres to Germany 2007, when Sordo retired with engine failure on his C4. And it's not looking good back at the service park. This time it's Loeb's engine that is too badly damaged to continue. So 0 points for the world champion on his home event, and huge disappointment for Citroën. But what that does mean is all of a sudden the championship is once again wide open. Only 15 points behind Loeb in the title race is Mikko Hirvonen. He knows he has to take full advantage. Over a minute off the lead, realistically he can't catch the leaders. But he can't lose concentration either. He has to bring this car home with as many points as he can. With no championship potential and even further behind on the leaderboard, teammate Jari Matti may be putting in some quick stage times. But he can only play the waiting game and hope that the others in front mess up. Oh, how costly that stage 3 error was for the Finn. This is the man to watch, Sébastien Ogier. As things stand now, if he takes maximum points here, he'll be within 1 point of Loeb. But first, he has to win. He may have the lead, but it's only by a slender 5 seconds. And that's from Peter Solberg. Peter hasn't won an event for 6 years and couldn't be more hungry for a victory. Won't let Ogier walk away with this. Let's sit with him and watch as he comes to the end of the stage. And look at this. Peter Solberg has taken the lead of this event.
Peter, the stage time's in. You now lead this rally by 2.6 seconds.
It's really good fun. I get a good... I beat Ladval also on the stage, so that was good.
Great to see Peter smiling again. And for years on tarmac, Danny Sordo was a frustrated man. Unlike Ogier, as Loeb's teammate, he was never given the opportunity for an equal fight with the world champion on a surface he excels at. What better way to get one over on his former team and teammate than to take a victory here? Ogier has a real fight on his hands. Also in the back of his mind, he must be worrying about what happened to Loeb. Every creak and whirl in that car must make him nervous. he is slower than both of his rivals.
I don't know what happened exactly. It smelled a lot of fuel into the car. And I have not the power as usual because I can be faster than that. Sometimes I'm trying to push, but it's impossible. I lost time all the time, so I don't know what happened.
Now is the time for Petter Solberg to capitalise. The win has been such a long time coming for Petter. This could be his chance. But Petter also has to look behind him because Dani Sordo is pushing hard. Let's see if Sordo can make any inroads into Solberg's lead. And yes, he has. A Mini will top the overnight leaderboard for the first time.
For the Citroën team, you've led rallies, you've finished on the podium, but to lead for Mini, does that mean more?
Yeah, to be leading Citroën home was really nice.
And there is confirmation. Dani Sordo leads by just 1 second from Petter Solberg. And of the two drivers that should capitalise on Loeb's demise, Ogier is only 2.8 off that lead, but Mikko Hirvonen is over 1 minute and 20 behind.
I'm very happy. The car has been working very well. It hasn't been any crazy driving at all. Also a little bit time on the gravel now, but because of the punctures in Germany, I backed off on the gravel and I lost a lot of time. But I'm 1 second behind the lead or something like that. So for me, it's been an absolutely excellent day to be back on the top again. And with the improvement we have got with the car before the rally, and you can see how important the small details are when you're fighting in the top. So very pleased.
We thought to be close after Germany, but not that close, no? So all the Mini team, we are really happy. But still 2 days more for the rally, so we need to stay concentrated and to try to continue like that.
How much are you pushing out there to get this?
I pushing really, really hard. At the end of the long stage, I go out to the car and I tell my co-driver, for me it's not pushing anymore. I do all my best, no?
And over at Citroën, how serious is that problem with Ogier's car?
We're just analysing it, but for the moment we didn't find anything, and so we're not concerned about that. And for the rest, yeah, I mean, the thing is also he's driving for a championship. You can see Mikko, and you have 2 guys in front of you who are pushing like hell just to win the event because they have nothing to lose anymore. So I think he knows after Australia that was such a big opportunity to do something well, and he threw it away. That's why he doesn't want to do that here again. I think it's a little bit everything together, and tomorrow a good sleep will help.
Today, though, has been a huge disappointment for the thousands of people here to see the local hero in action. The world champion, though, has remained in the service park well into the evening just for his fans.
Sebastian, how much does it mean for you to see your fans here still supporting you in spite of your problems?
For sure, I'm a bit disappointed for them also that they are all waiting here and I cannot drive. So it's a bit frustrating, but that's it.
And what does this mean for your championship?
It means that it will start at 0 again next time.
As Loeb attends a party held in his honour by his fan club, it's a very different-looking press conference at the end of the day. Less than 3 seconds between these drivers, all with very different agendas. Day 2 is set to be a huge battle. Join us for that after the break. Welcome back to Access All Areas. Away from the battle for the lead, it's been an eventful start to the Rallye de France Alsace for some. Former F1 champion Kimi Räikkönen had a narrow escape on stage 1, only to retire on a road section, when, whilst warming up his tyres, he ran into the back of Henning Solberg and ended up in a ditch. He flew straight home. Ken Block had been running as high as 10th overall before he came across a stranded Peter van Merkstein on his roof. The Dutchman and his co-driver were unhurt, but Block was held up for over 30 seconds. Matt Osberg had shown some impressive speed right from the start and was beating the factory Fords in 5th. But a puncture on the penultimate stage of the day saw him drop over a minute and a half and fall back to 8th. Fellow M Sports Stobart driver Matthew Wilson struggled to find a good feeling, and his problems were made worse when his Fiesta picked up power steering problems in the afternoon. So problems for Matthew there. His mechanics will be stretched to change the power steering in this 30-minute service. Over the course of a rally, WRC drivers have to navigate thousands of corners, all in the hope of tasting some champagne at the end. The steering rack and power-assisted steering system make this all possible. Here to explain is one of the engineers responsible for driving Chris Meek round the bend.
The steering system is fairly fundamental to the car because it starts off, it's the thing that's in the driver's hands, and it's where they put the commands in to get the response back from the car that they want. So this in front of me is a steering rack, as it would be assembled in the car. What we've got is the 2 links that go out to the suspension. Now in here is where the steering column actually connects into this rack, and inside this rack is a rack and pinion system. And what a rack and pinion system is it's a small pinion gear, so it's basically a gear with a load of teeth on it, and then a rack is a flat piece with some teeth on it. So by turning the pinion a small amount, you move the rack one way or the other, depending on which way it turns. What we then do is we then attach a hydraulic system to provide some assistance, because what happens is there's a huge amount of resistance in the tyre itself. So when the driver turns the wheel, if they try to turn the wheel with no power-assisted steering, it would be very, very heavy.
You can see how the steering wheel is connected to the steering rack through the rack and pinion system. The pinion at the end of the steering column has teeth which interlock with the steering rack, pushing it one way or the other to change the direction of the wheels. As Tina mentioned, a power-assisted steering system helps this along, as a hydraulic pump forces fluid into pistons on either side of the rack, driving it in one direction or the other and lightening the load for the driver. Thanks to this feat of engineering, the effort needed to turn the wheel is dramatically reduced.
Without a power-assisted steering system, it would take you about 20 newton-meters of torque just to get the wheel turned against the resistance of the ground. And to give you some idea of what the power-assisted steering system does is it reduces that to between 3 and 5 newton-meters. So between sort of 4 and 5 times the assistance is provided by the power steering system itself. Now, the 20 newton-meters of torque is equivalent to 2 kilos, so a large bag of sugar, on the end of a 1-metre stick, and it's you having to try and lift that. So you can see why it's very important that this is assistive.
So we now know how the rack and pinion and power steering system works, but what about how it all connects together, right up to the steering wheel and ultimately the driver's hands?
The steering rack that we saw on the bench earlier lives under the other side of this bulkhead, just under the engine. That makes it easy for us to change if we need to get to it quickly. The universal joint, which is this part down here, comes up through the bulkhead. The joint itself is this part here, which means that as we turn the steering wheel, that turns the steering rack. And then the main part of the column comes here, leads to the steering wheel, which is the part in the driver's hands. Now, there's a few things we do with the steering wheel in order to help the driver grip. It's got this felt covering, which gives the driver something to grip on. He also wears gloves with grips on them. That means he's got a good grasp of the steering wheel. It's very, very important that steering wheel is in his hands at all times.
When things go wrong with the power steering system, it is a marathon struggle just to get the car to the end of the stage. Perhaps it runs in the family. Petter's older brother Henning has also had to deal with the difficulties that power steering failure can bring.
I can't continue.
Rough gravel events are certainly where the rack and power steering pumps are the most susceptible to damage, but as we've already seen with Matt Wilson, lightning can strike on tarmac too. It's something we all take for granted, but power steering in a World Rally car is one of the most important and vital cogs in the machine to success. Day 2 of the Rallye de France Alsace. The world champion has retired and Danny Sordo leads a three-way fight for the win. All three split by just 2.8 seconds. So can Sordo take his first ever win and give the Mini glory in what is meant to be just a development year? Whilst Danny is fighting for his first ever rally win, Ogier is fighting for championships. With Loeb retiring, Citroën's manufacturers campaign needs all the points it can get. And for Ogier personally, a win here could see him draw to within 1 point of his teammate at the top of the drivers' table. And then there's Petter Solberg. Whilst the other two are fighting for first in their career, the 2003 world champion is looking to return to his former glories. The fastest time on the opening stage of the day, he takes the lead. But unbelievably, immediately afterwards, Petter has picked up a puncture.
Puncture, yeah. 6Ks, I couldn't feel it at all, you know. Just went slower and then we went off the rim, and then we calculated the last 6Ks. Okay, we tried to drive slowly.
Cruel luck for Petter, but now is the time for Ogier to take advantage. After the disappointment of Loeb's retirement, he's giving the French supporters something else to cheer for as he retakes the lead. An electrical glitch in the Mini since Finland means Danny Sordo is unable to receive the split times in the car. He just has to drive on the limit everywhere. He takes back the lead on stage 12. Can Ogier fight back?
220 mètres. Gauche 150, 180 mètres. Frein avant léger gauche 152 sur le droit 110 Nm de cheval teinté. Sur gauchis.
As always, the Frenchman is pushing to the max here at the end of the stage. Oh, he takes the lead, but just look at how much he wanted that stage time. Julian Ingrassia certainly wasn't expecting that unorthodox line. Really wide on the exit at the stage finish. He was really lucky not to hit that lamppost. Which will all be very interesting to this man. Sebastian Loeb can only watch as this drama unfolds here with his fan club. The world champion flies off to the next stage. Whilst his teammate fights for the lead, Chris Meek is having an impressive first Rallye de France. He's currently lying in 4th place. Oh, but his luck has run out there. That is a big off for Meek, but luckily it's only his pride that's injured. Meek's retirement promotes both the Fords, which is good news for Hirvanen's championship campaign. Lavela is still almost a minute off the lead and is struggling to get the right feeling in his Fiesta. Mikko Hirvonen is unable to find the limit of the grip too. Look at him struggling with the car there. It's a difficult situation for him. He can't fight for any positions. He's too far back, but he has to maintain concentration. Dennis Kuipers is having a fantastic event. He's up to 6th on a surface he knows well. This could be a career best. As always, Evgeny Novikov is on the edge.
Not clever, I think.
This time, flat out into a hay bale. And once again, co-driver Denis Giraudet is not impressed. And out front, stage by stage, second by second, Sébastien Ogier is increasing his lead.
60 mètres, droite 120 très vite qui ouvre.
Let's ride with the rally leader through this fan-lined vineyard stage.
Gauche 130 à fond et 60 mètres frein, gauche 80 millions, pas corde. 70 mètres, gauche 120 très vite, surtout pas corde, 120 très vite, surtout pas corde. Et droite 120 vite, tard bref, 70 mètres, gauche à fond, ouvre et frein 60 mètres, droite 120 vite. Pour droite 140 à fond en ciel, 250 mètres. Frein gauche 120 vite, mini juste, 120 vite, mini juste.
At the end of the day, Ogier's lead is 9.5 seconds from Danny Sordo, with Solberg almost a minute behind. Latval is in front of his teammate in fourth. The question is, will Malcolm Wilson ask them to swap to give Hirvonen the maximum chance he can in the championship?
We know what we've got to do in the team. It'll just be a case of deciding when we implement it, and we will look to do something along the lines of what we did in Australia, so that it can be done on the stage, and then it doesn't. Hopefully, we can do it well enough in advance so that it doesn't sort of play around with the results and everything at the end of the run.
So the Rallye de France Alsace is far from over.
9 seconds is not far, so I can make a mistake or can have a lovely stage tomorrow morning and go 5 seconds faster.
How much of a dream will it be to win in your home rally?
Yeah, it can be a good feeling for sure, but everywhere in the world I'm happy when I'm winning a rally, so if it happens here, I will be happy for sure.
After the break, we'll bring you the dramatic conclusion, as there is one final twist to the tale. Welcome back to Access All Areas from France. The inaugural season of the WRC Academy has proved a huge success. The class was designed to give young hopefuls an introduction to the World Rally Championship in the company of the best drivers and on the best stages in the world. These drivers are the stars of the future, and already they are reaping the benefits of what the Academy has to offer. But it's not just the drivers who are being given the opportunity to shine and build a career in the WRC. 12 of the Academy mechanics are students from Myerscough College in the UK, a leading educational institution in motorsport management. In association with M Sport and under the guidance of WRC Academy manager Maciej Koda, the college and the Academy are working together to provide the students with the experience they need to build a WRC career.
I've got a long association with M Sport, with Malcolm Wilson, and as a college representative for M Sport, I asked them how the college could help them, because Myerscough has a whole host of trained students who need experience. So we talked with Maciej, and I think Maciej was maybe a little doubtful at first.
I have to say, initially I was very cautious about it and very stressed about it, but since then it's been a fantastic idea, I think.
We've been along to just the academy events, which are all in Europe. If my students can put on their CV that they've actually had WRC experience with the academy helping Ford, they must stand a fantastic chance of getting a really good position when they graduate.
M Sports CEO Malcolm Wilson has been instrumental in bringing this project to fruition, and he himself already sees the potential in the students.
I've obviously got my people here watching and monitoring the people on the events, and of course when they're out of the training, then and of course we get good knowledge as well back from the college as to when people are available, and hopefully, I'm sure in the future you will see a lot of these faces in the WRC team in the future.
When you're sending a CV to companies like M Sport, for example, the guys will look at it and say, well, yeah, okay, but what is he going to do? Because does he know anything? Does he know how to, keep the spanner in his hand or whatever? When now we know those guys, so we can say, oh, hang on a minute, have a look on this one. You want to have him. So I think it opens a lot of doors for them.
And it's on event that the students have to prove themselves. They play a vital role in keeping the cars rally ready, and so far everybody's been pleased with the progress of the Academy mechanics, most importantly, the men behind the wheel.
It's a perfect environment for them to learn, we're all young drivers learning, so why not have a select few mechanics learning as well? And yeah, they're very enthusiastic young people wanting to learn, so I think it's a fantastic idea, and long may it continue.
It's a team sport, so everybody have to put all their effort in, and I think it's a good opportunity for them as well. And just as it is the academy, it's not only for the drivers, it's for the mechanics.
But what of the students themselves? This is the ultimate in work experience, and they all understand the potential job opportunities a scheme like this can create.
It's really good. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, really. Obviously, getting onto it has been one of the best things possible for me, anyway.
It's everything that we wanted when we started the course, and we've got it before we've actually finished the course, so it's just brilliant.
Obviously, with the college, we've got onto the WRC Academy, and that's the best thing that you could ask for. What a starting block, to get into the motorsport career.
With the help of everyone around you, it's just a great opportunity.
Learn about how to torque settings and all things like that, and how the suspension and brakes work and how they work together to come into a full rally car.
A lot of it you can't learn in lessons, all the hand-on experience, the pressure, everything like that you can't gain when you're at college, so it's such a good thing to be on, and I'm so glad that I got through to it, and everything's gone well for me, and hopefully everything will just keep going up in the future, and one day I might own a big team myself.
And it was Alistair Fisher from Northern Ireland who won the French round of the Academy Series after Jere Lemage was disqualified for repeated speeding offences on the road sections. Despite both championship contenders failing to finish with 1 round remaining, Estonian Egon Kaur still leads the category by 20 points over Irishman Craig Breen. In the SWRC, Oyt Tanak took the advantage from the start, with only championship leader Juho Hänninen looking like he could challenge the Estonian. But that challenge soon came to an end on the third stage of the opening day. After a frustrating season, Evan Brynildsen would be pleased with his second-place finish, as Tanak picked up his second consecutive win and third of the championship so far. Hänninen still leads the SWRC, but by just a 3-point margin from Tanak. Prokop in third sets up a three-way fight with just 1 round remaining in Catalonia. And the Abu Dhabi Spirit of the Rally was awarded to Dutchman Dennis Kuipers for being the highest-placed Dutchman ever. He's on course for a career-best 6th-place finish. And it's back to that huge battle for the win between the Citroën of Sébastien Ogier and Mini's Danny Sordo. Remember, there's only 9.5 seconds between the pair. That was almost a jump start from a nervous Ogier. Could have handed the lead to Sordo before he's even started. It's a foggy and cold morning, so it's a surprise that he has opted to run with the harder compound tyres. His rival Sordo, meanwhile, has gone with the softer option, giving him more grip in these cooler conditions. And yes, those tyres have made all the difference. Sordo's almost slashed Ogier's lead in half. It's now just 4.9 seconds. Solberg's day 2 puncture saw him drop out of contention for the lead. He has a cushion over 4th place Lavela of almost 40 seconds. Like Ogier, he's also on the hard tyre.
Left.
Oh, and he slipped off the road there. Those hard tyres not warmed up enough to give him grip.
Going left.
Luckily, he's only lost 20 seconds there, and he does remain in position. Armindo Araujo is on course for a career-best 6th place. Oh, but he too's had an off. That looked terminal, though. Bitter disappointment for the Portuguese driver. Ken Block is also on for his best result of the year. Entertaining the fans and as dramatic as always. He'll score his first points of 2011 if he maintains this 9th position. As Malcolm Wilson said, we can expect that Jari-Matti Latvala will swap places with his teammates to let Mikko claim vital championship points. This doesn't stop Latvala clocking up 3 fastest stage times first, though. Back to that fight for the lead, and as the temperature rises, Sordo's tyres are becoming less and less effective. He can now only keep the pressure on Ogier and hope that the Frenchman makes a mistake. One interested spectator is Sebastian Loeb. He's helpless to react as his teammate fights for championship points that could see him close to within 1 point of his lead. And Ogier looks very much in command now that his tyres are in the optimum temperature. We've seen Ogier throw away 2 potential wins on the final day of an event this year, so he just needs to hold his nerve and stay on the road. And before the power stage, as predicted, Jari-Matti Latvala takes the 2-minute penalty at the time control, dropping him behind his teammate and giving Hirvonen 2 vital points. It's also a chance for all the drivers to refuel and refocus as they head to the power stage, where, as always, more points are on offer. Points that could prove crucial as this 2011 championship gets tighter and tighter. And so too the power stage on the French streets of Haguenau. This stage ran last year, but this time there are the all-important bonus points up for grabs. 12 months ago, Sebastian Loeb wrapped up the championship on this stage, but sadly for the thousands of French fans, he won't be competing this year. However, the Haguenau-born world champion did a parade lap for his adoring supporters. Mikko Hirvonen will be going flat out on the final stage, trying to steal an extra 3 points to close the gap on Loeb's championship lead. It's a great time for Mikko. He's the fastest through so far. Next up, teammate Jari-Matti Latvala. After handing Mikko 4th place, the question is, will he go flat out and try to take maximum points, denying Ogier that chance? Or will he slow and allow Mikko to take as many points as he can? Wow, what a time from Latvala, 2.5 seconds. Quicker than his teammate. The tactics from Ford, obviously to take as many points as they can from Ogier. But will Petter Solberg spoil the party? The Norwegian is in 3rd overall. He'll be pleased with another podium finish this year. He's slow here, though. 4th place on the power stage and out of the points. What a weekend it has been for Dani Sordo and Mini. With his tyres going off, surely he'll drive to ensure he takes that 2nd overall. He's still pushing, though. A worried-looking Jari-Matti there. What a drive. He seals that 2nd place, and whatever happens with Ogier, that will also be the 1st point scored for the new Mini on the power stage. Well done, Dani Sordo. Now to rally leader Sébastien Ogier. 3 power stage points would see him draw to within 1 point of the championship lead. But he also has to ensure he gets that car back in one piece. Maybe he will treat this as a victory lap instead. Yes, well off Jari-Matti's pace there. And look at the relief on his face. Ogier is just 100th of a second quicker than Mikko, and he pushes Hirvonen out of that final power stage point. A fantastic victory, though, for Ogier on his home event. He led from the front on the final day, despite a huge comeback campaign from Dani Sordo. Ogier takes the final points, which could prove crucial in the future. Dani Sordo, a very impressive 2nd. And for Jari-Matti Latvala, this is his 1st power stage victory. But who would have guessed it would be on tarmac?
At last, you know, it's been a difficult year for me, and I have not even won the power stage, and at least I was expecting coming on tarmac, but this just shows me that we have done improvement. We have gone forward on the tarmac with the car, and hopefully I have done a small step as well. So I'm looking forward to Catalonia now.
Celebrations all round at Citroën. As for the 5th time this year, Sébastien Ogier returns to the service park victorious.
Sebastian, a dream start for you, winning on your home event. You must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's a very good feeling. A lot of stress coming out now because it was a long weekend for us after the problem of Seb. It was for sure bad news for us, bad news for the team, and we had a lot of pressure on the shoulder. And after that, it was difficult to find our normal rhythm and our normal driving. But finally, we are the winner. We did the minimum to stay on the lead all the time. We have to congratulate Danny because he was very fast and it was not easy to take the difference.
Danny Sordo's given Mini their best results so far, outperforming both Fords. Mini proving to be a real force.
Did you expect to be in this position from the start of the rally?
Honestly, no. We didn't expect for nothing like that. No, we expect before for being the podium or for being the top 5, and we arrive here. We are still fighting for the victory, so it's really good.
It's Sébastien Ogier who takes the top step of the podium on his home event, with Danny Sordo second and Petter Solberg in third. But the Norwegian celebrations are short-lived. His Citroën DS3 is found to be 4 kilos under the official weight regulations, and he's disqualified from the results. Bitter disappointment for the Norwegian. Which means the final result now looks like this. Sébastien Ogier and Danny Sordo remain at the top in first and second, but it's Mikko Hirvonen who's promoted to third, importantly gaining him 3 valuable points. Which makes for an incredible-looking championship table with 2 rounds remaining, as Sebastian Loeb and Mikko Hirvonen are tied at the top on 196 points, with Sébastien Ogier only 3 points behind. The 2011 championship continues to tantalise. In the manufacturers' table, the gap between Citroën and Ford has now been reduced to 54 points, but it is still possible for the French marque to take the title on the next round in Spain. So the championship is now a 3-horse race, and it couldn't be more exciting. 3 drivers split by 3 points. Citroën's misfortunes in Australia and Loeb's retirement here have played nicely into the hands of Ford. With team tactics, they've been able to promote their main candidate Hirvonen into the championship lead. However, Hirvonen hasn't won an event on pure speed since the opening event of the year.
Would it be fair enough to say that you weren't on form here?
Well, no, I wasn't when it's kind of over after my mistake. I was so far behind that I knew that by driving I can't catch them, and if I make a mistake I'm going to look really silly. So for sure this weekend was definitely one of the longest one I've ever had. There's 2 rallies to go, so it's definitely going to be a big fight now in the last 2 rallies.
Are you worried about Mikko's form for a guy going for the championship?
I suppose if you look here, then yeah, we had to try and preserve the points that we had. Then Mikko, in one sense, was put under pressure because he couldn't afford to make a mistake. If you're looking at the times from the outside, then it doesn't look good. But then on the other hand, to have 3 guys now within 3 points, the 2 Sebastians and Mikko, that for me, with 2 events to go, is a good position to be in.
Citroën, meanwhile, have an entirely different problem on their hands. Since Germany, they have very publicly said that Loeb is their number 1 and that they will back him for the title over Ogier. The question is, now that Ogier has closed within 3 points, does that still stand?
It's clear. From Germany, it's clear. He's our priority, yeah?
Have you faith in Sébastien Ogier that he will take this situation well, that he will be happy with this?
Yes, of course. I mean, he wins this a tarmac rally in France. He's French. I think tonight he will have a good party because it's an amazing victory for him. And we go to Spain and we will see.
If Citroën do ask you to let Sebastian lead, if you are leading, will you obey them?
We are not here for the moment. I want to celebrate this victory first and distress about this long weekend, and then we will see in Spain what happens.
But there are plenty of rumours buzzing around the service park. Where do Ogier's loyalties lie?
Question first, Sébastien Ogier. There's been some reports that you've signed a deal with Ford. Could you give us your comments on that?
Yeah, I think I have no comment for that. Where did you see that? No, it's absolutely wrong. I'm still working in Citroën, still very happy to working with them, and nothing new to tell you.
All right, guys, I think we are done. Hold on.
He's red, maybe it's true.
The championship could all come down to the first day in Spain. It's gravel, and if dry, Loeb will have to play the role of road sweeper. The key will be if Hirvonen or Ogier can take a big enough advantage and lead from the front into the remaining days on tarmac. Mini are also there to stir it all up. The obvious pace of Danny and the Mini here mean that it's now not only the championship rivals that could be hunting down the win on Danny's home event. So, next up, we head to the Rally of Spain. 150 kilometres of gravel, 250 kilometres of tarmac. What will it bring to this enthralling 2011 championship battle? Keep up to date with all the latest stories and news on WRC.com. The betting shop experts put Sebastian Loeb as the favourite for the title, with Hirvonen the outsider of the three. Who would you put your money on?